Vidyamati, you were online?
Yes, Prabhu, I wasn't hearing you.
Really? Okay, you can hear me
I'm
now?
now hearing you. Yes,
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I can start, Mati, when you're ready. Hey,
sure. Hare
thank you, Mati.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mati.
Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatujaya Mudiraye Nasta Preshu Abhareshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Naisteki. Today we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 13, Dhritarashtra quits home. Text 50, 50, 15, I think. I'm sorry. Prabhu,
Today, yeah, 16, 1, 6, 16 to 30, Mati.
16 to 30. Yes, thank you. Text 16. Having won his kingdom and observed the birth of one grandson, competent to continue the noble tradition of his family, Maharaj Yudhishthir reigned peacefully and enjoyed uncommon opulence in cooperation with his younger brothers, who were all expert administrators to the common people. 17. Insurmountable eternal time imperceptibly overcomes those who are too much attached to family affairs and are always engrossed in their thought. Text 18. Mahatma Vidura knew all this, and therefore he addressed Dhritarashtra, saying, My dear king, please get out of here immediately. Do not delay. Just see how fear has overtaken you. Text 19. This frightful situation cannot be remedied by any person in this material world. My Lord, it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead as eternal time, Kala, that has approached all of us. Text 20. Whoever is under the influence of Supreme Kala, eternal time, must surrender his most dear life, and what to speak of other things such as wealth, honor, children, land, and home. 21. Your father, brother, well wishers, and sons are all dead and passed away. You yourself have expended the major portion of your life. Your body is now overtaken by invalidity, and you are living in the home of another. 22. You have been blind from your very birth, and recently you have become hard of hearing. Your memory is shortened, and your intelligence is disturbed. Your teeth are loose, your liver is defective, and you are coughing up mucus. 23. Alas, how powerful are the hopes of a living being to continue his life. Verily, you are living just like a household dog and are eating remnants of food given by Bhima. 24. There is no need to live a degraded life and subsist on the charity of those whom you tried to kill by arson and poisoning. You also insulted your married wife and absurd their kingdom and wealth. 25. Despite your unwillingness to die and your desire to live even at the cost of honor and prestige, your miserly body will certainly dwindle and deteriorate like an old garment. 26. He is called undisturbed who goes to an unknown remote place and, freed from all obligations, quit his material body when it has become useless. 27. He is certainly a first class man who awakens and understands, either by himself or from others, the falsity and misery of this miserable of this material world, and thus leaves home and depends fully on the personality of Godhead residing within his heart. 28. Please, therefore, leave for the north immediately without letting your relatives know, for soon that time will approach which will diminish the good qualities of men. 29. Thus, Maharaj Dhritarashtra, the scion of the family of Ajamida, firmly convinced by introspective knowledge, Prajna, broke at once the strong network of familial affection by his resolute determination Thus, he immediately left home and set out on the path of liberation, as directed by his younger brother Vidura. 30. The gentle and chaste Gandhari, who was the daughter of King Subala of Kandahar or Gandhara, followed her husband, saying that he was going to the Himalaya mountains, which are the delight of those who have accepted the staff of the renounced order, like fighters who have accepted a good lashing from the enemy. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vidya Mataji. Hare Krishna. Naval Kishore Mataji, whenever you're ready, you can start, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji and Prabhuji. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakhaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. This week we are reading Canto 1, Chapter 13. Yesterday we heard that how Vidura returns to Hastinapur after hearing from Maitreya Muni about self-realization. And then all the Hastinapur residents received him as if like they regained their consciousness. And then Maharaj Yudhishthir inquires about Vidura's travel and Dwarkavasis. And then Vidura relates everything except the news of Yadu's annihilation. And then Vidura particularly came to enlighten Dhritarashtra. And Vidura was the incarnation of Yamraj, one of the 12 Mahajans. So Vidura was never a Shudra, but was greater than the purest type of Brahmana. He was the pure devotee of the Lord. Today we will continue from text 16. Text 16. In this, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that how Maharaj Yudhishthir and Arjuna were very unhappy due to war. But when Parikshit Maharaj was being born, seeing that Maharaj Yudhishthir felt some relief as a human being. Although he had very little attraction for material happiness, which is always illusory and temporary. This is very important point in this purport. Like Srila Prabhupada is saying that Maharaj Yudhishthir had very little attraction for material happiness, and material happiness is always illusory and temporary. Next is text 17. In this, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that how foolish persons they become engrossed in temporary family affairs and not knowing that eternal time is passing away, and they don't know how to solve the problems of life like birth, death, old age and disease, and that is called illusion. But the illusory attraction does not act on the spiritually hungry people who are always engaged in the service of the Lord, like Maharaj Yudhishthir and all the Pandavas and Kunti Maharani. So this this instruction was meant for persons like Dhritarashtra, for whom Vidura came especially to impart lessons. And next is text 18. In this text, Vidura purposefully addresses Dhritarashtra as Rajan, king. Dhritarashtra is now we can see like Dhritarashtra is a very old man. His all 100 sons are also died in the battle, and still he is sitting in the palace imagining that I am still the king. In that consciousness, he's demanding Yudhishthira that give me this, give me that and everything. So Vidura is teasing him. Vidura is teasing Dhritarashtra because Vidura can tease him because he has given long time of support and so much investment of a relationship. So Vidura and Dhritarashtra, they know each other very intimately. So Vidura is saying, my dear king, Time is up. Quit the palace. Don't be sitting in this palace with royal delights, eating opulent foods, wearing costly dresses, sitting on a royal throne, and receiving so much respect from the Pandavas, to whom you have always tried to kill them. Text 19. In text 19, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that there is no superior power which can check the cruel hands of the death. Mrityu sarva harsha chaham. Krishna says, in the form of death, everything is taken away. Death cannot be checked by anyone or from any source within this material world. Even Hiranyakashipu couldn't escape the death. There is death even in the topmost planet of this universe. Then what to speak of lower planets? And next is text 20. In this text, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that the nature of the death, that when death comes, it takes away everything. What to speak of his wealth, honor, children, land, home. And the conclusion of this text is, there is no powerful living being within this universe who can overcome the influence of time. Next is text 21. In this, Vidura continued to remind the precarious condition of the Dhritarashtra, that your father and your sons have already died. Your own body has overtaken by invalidity, and you are now hard of hearing. Your memory has shortened, your teeth are loose, and you live as a dependent in another's home. Still, you wish to prolong your life more and more. Protect yourself by your own actions and by the Lord's grace. Do not delay. Death awaits you nearby. Next is text 22. In this, Vidura point out the symptom of old age in Dhritarashtra. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that saints like Vidura approach such foolish men to awaken them to the real situation of life. But almost all of them refuse to hear the words of such saints, and they welcome show bottle sadhus who satisfy their senses. And then text 23 and 24, Vidura is saying, alas, just see the desire of living entity to live in this world. You are living just like a household dog and are eating remnants of food given by Bhima. Vidura is especially quoting name of Bhima because Dhritarashtra was very, very envious of Bhima. Bhima also killed two prominent sons of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana and Dushasana. So there is no need, Vidura is saying, there is no need to live a degraded life and subsist on the charity of those whom you try to kill. Text 25. In this, Srila Prabhupada is saying that Dhritarashtra lived like a Kripana. Kripana means one who uses his body for sense gratification, not for Krishna service. And whereas Brahmana means who uses his mind, body, and words for Krishna service. Kripana, even in old age, Kripana wants to become a young man. So they will try all the different methods, to become young. And so Vidura is trying to open the eyes of Dhritarashtra so that he must prepare for death. Text 26 and 27, in this Srila Prabhupada describes the three classes of transcendentalist. First is Dhira. Dhira, one who is not disturbed by being away from the family. And second type of transcendentalist is sannyasi, one who is renounced because of frustration in life. And third is sincere devotee or narottama. Sincere devotee or narottama is one who leaves home depending upon Lord Hari fully. And the Prabhupada is saying real perfection of the path of liberation is attained only by the sincere devotee, because he knows that Supreme Personality of Godhead is with him and he can protect him in any circumstances. Next is text 28. In this, Dhritarashtra was advised by the Vidura at least to become a Dhira in the beginning instead of Narottama. Because if for Dhritarashtra, coming to the stage of Narottama was very difficult. So Dhritarashtra is advising at least you become Dhira in the beginning and act. And Vidura is also advising Dhritarashtra to act quickly because Kali Yuga was approaching rapidly. In text 29, Vidura's potent words convinced Dhritarashtra to leave the palace. So in this, it's saying like Vidura was Vidura's firmly convinced. Sorry, Dhritarashtra was firmly convinced by the introspective knowledge, and he broke once the strong network of familial affection by his resolute determination. Thus, he immediately left home to set out on the path of liberation as directed by his younger brother Vidura. So in this, Srila Prabhupada is also mentioning like how Vidura influenced Dhritarashtra to his own Guru Maharaj, his divine grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, influenced him in the first meeting when Srila Prabhupada met his Guru Maharaj first time, like how his divine grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj influenced Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is relating to how Vidura influenced Dhritarashtra. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also stressed in this purport the importance of association with the sadhus. He said, like, even by a moment association with a pure devotee, one can achieve the perfection of the life. Therefore, the scriptures enjoin that one should associate with sadhus only and rejecting all other kinds of association. And only sadhus can cut to pieces the bonds of illusory affection in the material world. So in this, one more thing Srila Prabhupada is saying, like a cloud in the sky appears to be a reality, but it rains. Due to rains, so many temporary green things appear. But in the ultimate issue, everything disappears, namely the cloud, rain, and green vegetation, all in due course. But the sky remains, and the varieties of sky or luminaries also remain forever. Similarly, the absolute truth, which is compared to the sky, remains eternally, and the temporary cloud-like illusion comes and goes away. Foolish living beings are attracted by the temporary cloud, but intelligent men are more concerned with the eternal sky with all its variegatedness. And then next is text 30. In this, we can see like how Vidura, Dhritarashtra, and the gentle and chaste lady Gandhari left the palace, but without telling anyone, and headed for the Himalayas. So Srila Prabhupada in this explains two types of sannyasis. Like one are those who follow the Mayavadi philosophy, and uh, the sannyasis who follow the Mayavadi philosophy, they are headed by Sripad Shankaracharya, and they accept only one rod, and therefore they are known as Ek Dandi Swamis. They are mostly fond of the Himalayas, and they comes in the category of Dhira, as we heard, like Dhira, Dhira.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Can you be a little bit louder, Mataji? Your voice is low.
Yes, Mataji. I will.
Thank you.
So we were talking about the two types of sannyasis. Yeah, first one are those like who follow the Mayavadi philosophy headed by the Sripad Shankaracharya, and they accept only one rod, and they are known as Ekdandi Swamis. And these are mostly fond of the Himalayas and comes in the category of Dhira. Dhira, one who is not disturbed by being away from the family. And second is another category is uh, those who follow Vaishnavite philosophy, and they accept three combined rods, and they are known as three Dandi Goswamis. And these type of sannyasis are fond of Vrindavan and Puri. They mostly go to these places, and they are Narottamas. Narottamas or sincere devotee of the Lord who leaves home depending upon Lord Hari fully. So Maharaj Yudhishthir was also advised to follow Dhiras. So because he was not able to come at the stage of Narottama, so he was advised by Vidura to follow at least Dhira to come at the stage of Dhira in the beginning, because at that stage it was difficult for him to become Narottama. So yes, that's all. Thank you so much, Prabhuji and all the devotees.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mati, for nicely sharing insights from purports of Prabhupada also. Yeah, I think you're referring to Vidura and Dhritarashtra conversation, right? So
Yes,
in
Prabhuji.
between you meant one time you mentioned Yudhishthira, but that just Dhritarashtra. Vidura was instructing Dhritarashtra. Yeah, perfect.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
perfect.
Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you, Mati. Okay, thank you,
If I
devotees.
have
Let's.
missed anything, Prabhuji, you can explain those points.
Oh no, it was wonderful, Mati. Yeah, only two highlights from this section for me was how Vidura was highlighting to Dhritarashtra the power of time, how it will force everybody to surrender everything, whatever we think we want to accomplish in this life, ultimately through old age and finally through death, everything is lost. So we should utilize this life very carefully to practice Krishna consciousness, like cultivate dependence on Krishna slowly, step by step, like that. That's the best way to utilize this life, like that I was thinking in this section. And yeah, that's the only
Hare
other
Krishna
point I would share.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Mati.
Yeah. So your voice is really good. I could hear your voice, but only Mataji's voice was very low. And
Ah,
one more thing is you clarified that point. I still was thinking Yudhishthira is a devotee of God. How come it's happening like this? I was not able to connect the points. And once you said Dhritarashtra, and I said, oh, it makes sense. So much sense. And I was like, oh, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji, for clarifying. If we do some mistakes, please do let us know like that.
sure, Mati. Yeah, I
Thank
think
you. Hare Krishna.
yeah, I could increase the volume on speaker my side. I was able to hear Mataji. Yeah, yeah, but
No, about
next.
that Dhritarashtra and Yudhishthira, it
Sure,
was really good. If you were
absolutely.
not told, I would have been like stuck. Oh my God,
Okay.
what was that?
Sure. Yeah, that's only one time she was saying. Thank you, Mati. Yeah,
Okay, thank you, Hare
perfect.
Krishna.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, devotees. Oh, some Devgan Mati had a comment or question.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Prabhuji.
Mati.
Can you explain one more time about the two kind of sannyasi Mataji explained?
Oh, two kinds of sannyasi.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mataji was telling Bhiv sannyasi and then
Oh, okay. Mati, I didn't hear that carefully. Could you please repeat that, Naval Kishore Mati?
Yes, Prabhuji. It's in text 30. Like Srila Prabhupada is explaining two types of sannyasis. First is those who follow the Mayavadi philosophy, and they are headed by Sripad Shankaracharya, and they accept only one rod, and they are known as Ekdandi Swamis, and they are mostly fond of the Himalayas, and they comes in the category of Dhiras. We heard like Dhira are the one who is not disturbed by being away from the family life. And second, another type of sannyasis are those who follow Vaishnavite philosophy, and they accept 3 combined rods and are known as 3 Dandi Goswamis. So they are fond of Vrindavan and Jagannath Puri, and they come in the category of Narottamas. Narottamas are sincere devotees of the Lord who leaves home depending upon the Lord Hari fully. So these are the 2 types of sannyasis. And
Thank you, Mati.
Maharaj, Yudhishthir was advised by Vidura to follow the Dhiras, because at that stage it was difficult for him to become a Narottama. So that's why he went to Himalayas, because mostly Dhiras, they are fond of the Himalayas.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mati. Yeah. Devangan Mati, that is clear now?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mati. Okay. So thank you so much, Mati. Let's offer obeisances. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Our obeisance to all the devotees of the Lord. Vancha kalpatarubhesha kupasindubhyevacha paditanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji and Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.